there, welcome to a new video. My name is Tasha and today we're going to be making lots of monsters. So I have some spinning wheels set up and the pattern I'm going to be using is I made one monster and I took it to my last market and it was very popular. So I wanted to kind of take the guesswork out of choosing all of the parts on the monster. So I created 5 spinning wheels and I'm going to show them to you. The first spinning wheel is going to be all the colors of the yarn that I have available to me, which you see behind me. White sparkle, mustard, light yellow, berry, red, blue mystical, leafy greens, smoky greens, sage, black, harvest, twilight, almond, and phasing. And I kind of created those colors myself so that I would quickly know which one I'm talking about. Those all are not all the exact colors. So I'm going to be using Bernat yarn. I'm going to be using a 7mm hook. And my second spinning wheel is all about the arms and legs of the monster. So this pattern gives you so many options and it can get overwhelming when you're looking at all those options. So I'm just taking that out of it and I'm just letting the spinning wheel do all the decision making for me. The arms and the legs are fingers and toes, wide long arms and legs, simple arms and legs, and short arms and legs. My next wheel is going to be about the ears. So on the spinning wheel are small round ears, big round ears, long narrow ears, or half circle ears. For the face, there are 4 options. We have a lip color change, a color change only, a lip only, and then just a plain face. For the horns, our choices are a curved horn, short horn, medium horn, or long horn. And then for the tail, we have only 2 options, large tail and skinny tail. So I think with all of these options, we're going to be able to create some really unique monsters that I can take to my next market, which is going to be in October. So the first thing that we're going to do is spin the wheel for the arms and the legs. And then as I'm keeping track of all of these things, I'm going to make a quick list for myself so that I don't forget. And then as I run out of yarn, I will just eliminate those colors from my color wheel. Go ahead and spin the wheel for arms and legs. Our first monster is going to have simple arms and legs, big round ears, lip and color change, curved horns, that'll be interesting, large tail or skinny tail. Only 2 options, we're going to be doing a large tail. To get a little tricky and I'm not sure how to put the actual spinner up on the screen. So what I'm going to do for the colors is I'm going to just spin it and kind of tell you guys which colors I landed on. So the first thing that we want to choose or that we need to figure out is what color is the body going to be on our monster. Red mystical, that's going to be, and now we're going to choose for the, let's see, we're going to do simple arms and legs, so we don't need the claw color, but we do need the face change color. So let's see what the center patch of the face is going to be. Berry, okay, that's going to be cool because that's going to be 2 different mystical colors. And now we need to choose a color for the horns. Let's, oh, ooh, white sparkle, that's going to look nice. If you look at this one, you can make the arms a different color. So I could make the arms the same color as the color change like they did in this monster. You can also do stripes. So there's a lot of different options here and I can also put spots on him. I think I'm just gonna do all the same color for the body just to keep it simple, especially with that color change in the face. That could get tricky. So yeah, time to go ahead and get started making our first monster. This is how much of the 2 mystical yarns I have. This is going to be the body. This is going to be the face color change. So I think what I'm going to do is do the arms in this color as well to save myself on a little bit of yarn. So the first step is to make 2 arms. I'm so excited to see how this is going to turn out. I love it that I don't have to pick the colors, that I can just like see what the spinning wheel does. And there's so many options here that I know I'm going to get a bunch of different unique monsters. So we are going to be making simple arms and legs, which is like the easiest ones to make because I don't have to do fingers, I don't have to do claws. I'll go ahead and start working on these and I will check back in with you guys when I am done. Keeping track of how long this monster is taking me because I was thinking, depending on the parts that you choose, it could actually be a pretty long project or a shorter project. So far I've made 2 of the simple arms. Is it just me or is this one a little bit longer? And all you have to do is stuff the very end and then 4 single crochets across the top. So we have our 2 simple arms done. I think I did 1 too many rows on this one, so I'm going to take that part out. And then next I'm going to see what is going to go on. I'm thinking I'm going to be doing the legs next, and the legs are going to be the long simple legs, so that should not take me too long, probably another 20 minutes to get those legs done. And I'm going to be making those in the red mystical because the arms are the only thing that will be in the berry mystical. A little quick check-in. I made my 2 legs. These took me 15 minutes each, so 30 minutes total. So you can see this is the red mystical and this is the berry mystical, and these are the 2 colors that the monster is going to be with its white horns. So the next step is for me to start working on the body, and then the legs are crocheted into the round, and I will check in with you guys in a bit. I am just started the body. It's only taken me a few minutes, and I just crocheted the legs into the round, but look at them. They're so cute. So much personality going on in just these little legs. It's been about 25 minutes, and you can kind of see how my little monster is coming out. I think this is the back. I think he sits like this. But once you get the arms and legs done, it's honestly so quick. It's get the arms and legs done. It's honestly so easy to like bring it all together. In the next round, I'm going to be attaching the arms. And then after that, I believe I start working on the head. So I'm excited to see this come to life. I really like the way this mystical yarn is looking. My previous monster, if you saw that vlog, was the gray brown mystical, and I remember really liking the way that one turned out. So this is how our little monster is doing, how he's turning out. He's super adorable. You can see his berry arms, and now the cool thing about this pattern is that I'm just gonna go right into the head right now. There's no sewing involved, which I love. I think I might have to sew the horns on. But overall, turning out super cute, and I can't wait to see how he's gonna look. At the point where I start making the face, and we have spun onto adding the lip and doing a color change for the face. Pretty sure, so his face is gonna be here, and the pattern just says like if whatever face you chose, go to that part of the pattern because this is the point where you're gonna start doing it. So yeah, this should be interesting. So this color is gonna be the patch on the front of the face. Where the body's done. I should take this little stitch marker out, and I have very little yarn left. This is how much yarn I have left of this color. I might have some extra, but I'm not sure. So, oops, this is what he's looking like. I just have to add his upper lip because the spinner thing chose that. And then we have to get going with his ears and his horns. And once his ears and horns go on, he really starts looking like a little monster. Right now, he just looks like a little person. But I never would have chosen these 2 colors to go together, but I really like the way that they're turning out. So upper lip next, then we're gonna make the horns. I chose smoky green for the ears. Okay, I forgot about that. All right, smoky green it is. Here are the 2 ears in smoky green. Big round ears, and then these are the 2 horns that I'm getting ready to sew on. These are the horns I originally made out of white sparkle yarn, and they're just too big. They like dwarf his head. So I think the yarn, this mystical yarn is a little bit smaller in scale than like a regular Bernat, and the sparkle yarn is like even bigger. So now I just have to go sew these on, maybe adjust this upper lip. I think it's too high, and then this guy will be done. Just came outside for a minute to enjoy the fresh air and the nice sunny weather, and I want to show you how this monster turned out. You guys, I could not have anticipated how this was going to turn out. I also would have never have chosen green ears, but look how cute he is. He's got these oversized big round ears, and they just give him so much personality. I did not move his upper lip because I felt like it was perfect. It just gave him a little embroidered nose, little embroidered belly button. But yeah, he's so cute. He's so adorable. So now it's time to see what the spinner does next. It's time to spin the wheel again. I'm going to take out red because I don't have enough yarn. So that will not be in there anymore. I almost want to take out white sparkle because it's always going to throw off the plushie. So I think I'm going to take that out too. Okay, I just chose the body color at light yellow. Now we're going to choose the ear color. Phasing. Oh, that's going to be cool. So that's my blue yarn. Now for the horns. Light yellow. I guess that's okay. They don't have to be a different color. We're going to choose the arm and leg type. We're going to be doing fingers and toes. Oh, ears. Cool. Now let's choose the face. Color change only. That means no upper lip. What type of horns will we have? Long horns. I just realized I never made the tail for the other guy, so I'll have to go back and do that. Okay, let's choose the tail. We're going to have a large tail. Not too sure about these colors. This is the light yellow. That's going to be the monster's body. I love this one. So this is going to be the ears. So the ears are going to be blue. And then I also need to choose a face color. So I was thinking, I hit the spinner again and it gave me almond, which I think will be okay, kind of plain, but we're just gonna go with it. We're gonna trust the process. I think for this monster, because the colors are a little more muted, I might go upstairs and look for some pretty sinker eyes instead of just using black. I think that's gonna make a big difference. Here's the foot with the little toes. I've made 2 of them, and now I'm starting on the body. I'm getting ready to attach the legs. It's the next day, and I'm just sitting down to work on my monsters. I don't have a whole lot of time because we are going back to another apple farm today. This time my parents and my sister are gonna come with us, as well as my daughter and my son-in-law. So we're going to be visiting an apple farm called McDougall's Apple Farm, and they also have peaches and pears and other things that you can pick. And my goal this time is to pick enough apples to make some apple products that I can can. So I've never canned really before. I've made strawberry jelly, but I've never done any like real canning. So I've been watching these homestead videos and they're so much fun. I'm getting obsessed a little bit. I don't have little kids at home anymore, so I don't have a reason to like can a whole lot of food, but I thought it would be fun to try out something as simple as like applesauce, or the one video I was watching, she took 4 bushels of apples and made applesauce, apple pie filling, apple butter. She even made apple cider vinegar. So I thought that would be really fun. I don't know how many peaches they're going to have, but if we do pick enough peaches, I could also do the same thing with peaches. I love peach butter. And then that also brings me back to the fact that I'm always trying to watch what I'm eating, and that if I make all those delicious canned things, then I'm probably gonna wanna eat them. So how many of them am I actually going to wanna make? But anyway, let's get back to the monsters. So I am working my way through this yellow monster. This is how he's looking so far. In retrospect, these are toes. In retrospect, I probably should have made his toes the contrasting color of blue. And that's the fun part about this pattern, is that you can choose your colors, but then like change it up. I think that would have given a little more contrast. I also had the idea of embroidering over his toes. If I get down to like where I'm done and I realize that he's a little too plain, then I can always go back and embroider those toes, or I can also add spots. So I want to first see how he looks, and then I can make that decision. So I have been working on this for about 20 minutes, and I also made the 2 arms out of the Perfect Phasing Bernat yarn. These are the arms. You don't stuff them, you just stuff the very bottom. And what I love about this perfect phasing yarn is that it gives me a different color of blue. As I get near the ears, I'm gonna have like a lighter blue color. And we're just gonna see how this works out, but I'm getting ready to work up to the row where I'm attaching the arms, and then we will start making the head. But so far I'm working a little bit faster on this guy, probably because I know the pattern a little bit better than I did yesterday. So we're just gonna keep working on him. I also chose his eyes. I initially wanted to use I couldn't find any that I had painted that I really liked. I was kind of bummed by that. But I have the blue circles, and I thought that would be a good contrast to the blue and the yellow, and it is a monster. It's not like a dragon. So I think I'm gonna do that. I also brought my glitter, my color shifting glitter, so if I really wanted to make him special, I would paint some eyes. But since we're leaving here in the next 45 minutes, I don't think I'm gonna be up to that, but if I don't make it to his head and I want to go back and paint the eyes, then I will do that. So let's just keep working, and then I will have a check-in and let you guys know how it's going. Here's a view of my little monster with his like fingered arms facing down, which I think he's so cute. I'm so glad I decided to do the blue arms. I think it gives him a lot more character. If he was all yellow, that might have looked a little odd. So now I'm gonna go ahead and start the head. Now that I've reached the point where I need to make the little patch on the front of his face, you can see what he's looking like. This is the color that the spinner chose, and it's almond. So I'm gonna be making the patch on his face with almond, and then I have to decide on the eyes. I just got back from my parents' house. I went there to hang out with them and help them with a few things after we went to the apple tree farm, which by the way was amazing. We picked apples, and then my mom and I are gonna be making applesauce and other stuff later. But I wanted to come on, even though it's late and I'm tired. I want to show you my monster because I worked on it throughout the day today while we were driving. And I think you're going to be really pleased with how cute he is. This is my little guy. So what a goofball he is. So the spinner chose everything. So the spinner chose the long horns, the long floppy ears, the long tail. I added 2 little spots in the back just for character, and that's the great thing about this pattern. She gives you a bunch of different things that you can do. He's supposed to be a sitting monster, so he sits like this, and his arms were supposed to be yellow, and I just decided to make them blue just to add a little more character. I went ahead and did the blue sparkle eyes, and then I embroidered his nose in the same color that his ears are. I think I'm going to add a little mouth just to kind of complete his look, but I am pleasantly surprised with how this monster turned out. I did not expect to like it. I thought he was going to be plain. His face patch is in almond, and I really think it gives him another level of dimension. So far I've made 2 monsters. The spinner has chosen everything. I'm really happy with the way it has turned out. So now it is time to choose our 3rd monster, and I'm at the mainland, so I have a lot more yarn here. And if I don't like one of the colors that maybe I chose, I might change it out for a different one. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, I've added a few colors. I added lavender, coral, and zing dot, which is this like really pretty green color with all these spots that I think would be really nice. I also took away my berry mystical, red mystical, white sparkle, and I also took away light yellow because I used almost all of it. So let's go ahead and see what we get. I need a piece of paper. First, let's spin for the main color. And I got smoky green. And we're going to choose what kind of fingers and toes we're gonna have. Wide, long arms and legs. Now let's choose for the ears. Big, round ears. I've already done that with the first monster, and I really liked the way those look. We're gonna choose for the face details. Color change only. That's what we just did for the yellow monster. We're going to choose what kind of horns he has. Curved horns. Okay, now we're going to choose what kind of tail. Large tail. I think all my monsters have had large tails. Now let's choose the color for the face change and the horns. Coral. Ooh, I'm really happy about that because that's a nice contrasting color to that smoky green. Blue Mystical. So this would be the body, this green color. This would be the face change, which I like. And this would be the horns. So I don't have Blue Mystical here. I do have it at the island, but I think I can mix in a color that's very similar to Blue Mystical and use this one. This is called Sea Tweed, and I think it actually might look pretty nice. So I think we're gonna go with that. I just finished the 2 arms and the 2 legs. They're both wide version, and the time on the clock is 47 minutes. I am back at the island and I'm working on my 3rd little monster, and I have attached his legs. I love the dimension of these larger wide legs. I think they are so cute, and when he's sitting down, they're just gonna look so oversized. But you can see his little belly button. I did a bobble stitch for his belly button, and then we're gonna start attaching his arms. That's the next round, and then we'll start working on the head, and this guy is really starting to come together. I forgot to say that I've been working on him for 1 hour and 20 minutes. These arms and legs do take a little bit longer than like the shorter arms do. So 1 hour and 20 minutes, I'm assuming I'll get done right around 2 hours. Here's my little guy with his head, and I'm at about 2 hours, 20 minutes, maybe 2 hours, 15. But look how cute he is. Look at his little belly button. So I put his eyes a little farther apart this time, and I used like a pink sparkle glitter. I painted these a little while ago, and I think they look like really cute with him. So we're just gonna continue on working on his head and see him come to life. I noticed that he doesn't really come to life until he has his horns in his ears. So we're gonna continue working on that, and we're just gonna see what happens, but I'll keep my timer going. Okay, I've made the tail, and I wanna show you guys how I did it. So now that I'm back at the island, I don't have to use the other yarn that I was talking about, the spotty yarn. I have the Mystical yarn, so I went ahead and used it since it was in the spinner. So I did the Mystical yarn up to the point of the last 2 rounds, and then I went ahead and used the body color for the tail, and then I'm going to sew it on. And then I also made the 2 horns in that same Mystical color, and I sewed them on. So I don't have that piece of paper with me that I wrote everything down. I guess I can go back and I can watch the video. But I'm just thinking about what color would be the best ears. I'm thinking maybe the peach. I could also do them in green, but there's so much of the monster is already green. I don't know, maybe a totally different color. I think I'll go back and watch the video and just see what I spun, and then I'll like make a decision about what would look best. So let's go do that. Here's a little clip of my 3 monsters that I made. I think they all turned out so different and so cute. So we're gonna talk a little bit about what makes them different. I came outside for just a minute because it's a really pretty night, but I wanna talk to you a little bit about my monsters. So the last one that I made was with Bernat blanket yarn, and it is the biggest one. So that's why he's so much bigger. The other ones are made with, I'll talk to you about it in a minute, but so I ended up doing his ears in almond. I actually had forgotten to choose a color, and then I tied in his nose with the same color, almond. His ears are Bernat blue. He has a little bobble stitch belly button. These are the biggest legs that are in the pattern. They're called the wide long legs. And then he also has the long tail in the back. He has 25mm glitter eyes that are sinker eyes, and then a peach color chain. I moved to another location because I wanted to prop the phone up. Okay, so if you look at these 2, you can see the size difference between Mystical yarn and regular Bernat. This guy has just an embroidered belly button. He has actually the same, he has the, yeah, these are the wide ears. So the big round ears look a lot bigger on him than they do on this guy. So that's something to think about. I probably should have used like a different yarn for his ears, because although it's still cute, he has the small arms, and actually they have the same arms. They both have the wide long arms and the wide long feet, And let's see, this guy, I actually forgot to do his tail, so I should probably go back and do that. Now let's compare these two. So this guy has, of course, those pointy ears. They are so hysterical. And he's got the very long horns, where this guy has the curved horns. They both have the face patch, and this guy has the face patch and the upper lip. I really like the upper lip. I think it gives it a lot more personality. This guy has the fingers and toes, which I really like. And then he has the long tail, like this one. And then I added some spots just for a little bit of interest. This yarn is actually Stash Goals yarn, which is not as large as the Bernat yarn. So the Bernat yarn is going to be the biggest, and the Stash Goals looks a lot like Bernat, but it is not as thick as Bernat yarn. But overall, I'm really happy with the way the 3 monsters turned out. I would never have chosen these colors probably on my own if it wasn't for the spinner. So if you're looking to kind of shake things up a little bit and get out of your comfort zone, maybe do like a spinning wheel for yourself, and then you can try something new. So I'm gonna go ahead and end this video here, but thank you guys so much for coming along with me. I hope this was interesting for you, and don't forget to go check out this pattern. It is so adorable. I will link it down below, and you guys have a great day. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.